For more awesome content, head to ystech.org, link in the description. For myself, the Razer Core X has been an interesting experience. It seems like an easy way to play games with a laptop. But there is a big problem, which isn't the Razer Core's fault. Hi, I'm Wise from ystech.org, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Razer Core X eGPU. I will go over why you'd want to get one, why you wouldn't, some benchmarks with a 980 Ti I have installed in it, the price, and my final thoughts. So why would you want to get the Razer Core X? The Razer Core X is an eGPU, external graphics card, which utilizes Thunderbolt. Instead of you opening up your laptop and plugging another type of eGPU in, the Razer Core X kind of provides a more elegant solution. It's plug and play, install your graphics card in the 16X slot on the Razer Core X, and put in the PCIe power cables in. Next, plug in your monitor into the graphics card and finally plug in the Razer Core X's Thunderbolt cable to your laptops. Simple and easy. Download any drivers needed for the Razer Core X and your graphics card and get them installed. You are finally done. Super easy and simple. Just keep in mind the power supply limit, but I'm not too sure what type of wattage or rating the power supply that comes with the Razer Core X is, but just do keep in mind it is pretty decent because my power hungry 980 Ti was just fine on it, and it usually draws around 300 watts on peak load, so you should be perfectly fine. Just be careful if you're plugging in a high wattage graphics card like I did, but I seem to be fine. On a quick note, the Razer Core X's build quality is really good. The whole chassis is made of steel, I believe. It's extremely heavy, and it does have some sort of front air take for air. And it does come with one fan for the chassis on the side. Again, this thing is extremely heavy with its outer shell on. As I stated in the start, I had a mixed experience with this solution with the Razer Core X and my laptop. Let me show you why. Let's say I want to play a older AAA title such as Assassin's Creed Unity or Mass Effect 2. These games run perfectly fine, not that they were hard to run in any case. Even for newer AAA titles where the graphics card is used a bit more compared to the CPU, you should still be fine. I had a decent experience running a 980 Ti with a dual-core i5 laptop, but that's my problem. My laptop is the Lenovo T470 and has a slightly older dual-core i5. When I try to play games that are more CPU bound, such as Assassin's Creed Origins or many esport titles such as Valorant or CSGO, it felt almost unplayable. Let's take for example Valorant. I ran my 980 Ti with my desktop with a Ryzen 5 1500X before, and it was perfectly fine getting 144Hz on the screen and outputting 144 FPS or above. That was super easy. But when I take the same 980 Ti and put it on the limited bandwidth through Thunderbolt 3 on my laptop, with the main factor of the laptop actually being a dual core laptop, I ran into some serious issues. Simply put, you cannot expect to run CPU-bound games such as Valorant on a dual-core laptop, even with a dedicated graphics card, and expect to have a good experience. It's just not going to happen. Luckily, I had already known this, and this was not my main purpose for the Razer Core X. I had wanted to use it for some extra CUDA cores while rendering videos and playing slightly older AAA titles on my laptop. Let's say you are on a later quad-core i5 or i7 processor or one from Ryzen. Well, you should be fine if your CPU can handle more CPU-intensive games. Just keep in mind that even newer AAA games will take advantage of your CPU a little bit more as games become more complex and as newer games come out. So this is a warning to anyone that wants to play a CPU-bound game such as Valorant on an older laptop. You will not have a good experience. Now, that's not to downplay the Razer Core X. This is just simply a hardware limitation from the laptop, but it is something very important to consider when wanting to buy one of these. The Razer Core X has fulfilled its purpose in providing a graphics card for me. It is cool to just plug in one cable to the laptop and have it ready to go. It's also awesome to plug it back in and know I can play some of my favorite AAA titles whenever I want to and take my laptop on the go as well. Now the price. Is the Razer Core X actually worth it? For gaming on a dual-core laptop? No, definitely not, especially if you want to play esport titles which tend to be more CPU bound in any case. But if you are on a quad-core laptop, then you should do a lot better, but your mileage will vary depending on what CPU you have. The build quality is decent as stated, and it feels pretty high quality. I haven't had any issues physically with the unit, nor any problems with my graphics card being inside of it. But there are cheaper options, brand new, which I will show you on screen right now. If you want to game, then your best bet is probably just to save up and build a desktop PC using second-hand parts. Considering the Razer Core X can run upwards of 450 New Zealand dollars second-hand or even more brand new. It's quite an investment, and if you don't have a graphics card lying around, you will have to purchase one second-hand or brand new, and a brand new one can run you upwards of at least another $300 to $600, at least for mid-tier GPUs. A total of 750 New Zealand dollars without a laptop as a best case scenario is pretty much what I'd expect to pay. I can see this working out nicely for a university student who can only have a laptop, or where a company has already given you a laptop and it just happens to have Thunderbolt on it. There just needs to be some cost minimized off this to actually make it viable. Luckily, I had my old GPU being the 980 Ti lying around, and I bought my laptop for under $400 earlier this year. The Razer Core X I bought for $420 New Zealand, and that was second hand, which is a bit pricey, and I do regret it as there are other options second hand which would have been much cheaper, and that had Thunderbolt 3 as well. Simply put, if you need a graphics card to help you play games that utilize a graphics card more than a CPU processor, then you'll be fine. So, would I recommend it? Well, it depends on who you are. For myself, it's alright, considering that I only need to take out my laptop sometimes, and it's not very often that it comes up in any case. But again, if you're willing to spend so much, if you just want to game, there are better budget desktop options compared to this laptop solution. You could even build a mini ITX PC or use a smaller case if you like this form factor. Mini ITX builds usually do cost a bit more, and that is also something to consider. But in any case, does it make sense to justify this purchase? From what I said before, I think it would be best to try and evaluate if you think this is you or not. Think about your use case scenario. Will this actually benefit me? And does my laptop have a good enough CPU to run the games I want or not already? If you can say yes to that and it suits your lifestyle, then I say why not? And if you have the money to splurge, it's probably even better for you. I hope this helped out. Make sure you go and check out ystech.org for some more awesome technology content. But other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.